Hi, Milo Melodies here at Gear for Music, Synth and Tech with the Boss Space Echo RE-202 and my Juno 60, which I'm going to run through it. The Space Echo, of course, is a digital recreation of the classic RE-201, and this gives you that wonderful aged tape vibe with spring reverb and some other reverb modes as well, and all of the same kinds of controls that you would get on the 201, the original. It's like a retro futuristic world, a mashup of old and new. And speaking of old, the Juno 60 is here because I think it's really interesting to run synths through pedals. This is line level compatible. There's a little button here that we can push so we can both use it on guitar and on line, and it's stereo in and stereo out. So absolutely suited to this as well. Now, there is the RE2, by the way. That is a sort of compact version that has the same core sound. It doesn't have quite the same bells and whistles. Like, there's a bunch of memory slots here. We can save sound setups we like. And there is also MIDI in and out on the RE202, which you don't get on the RE2. But the core sound is the same. So if you want a more compact version, check that out. So what does it sound like on the Juno 60? Well, here's the Juno by itself. Nice. Now with echoes. So there's a nice kind of rhythm to it, and that's the whole thing about multiple heads. The Space Echo has this thing where there's obviously a piece of tape, and in this case, virtual tape, and it has a record head and a raise head, and then these heads in between. And you could pick on the Space Echo which one it was hearing. And by turning this little dial, you were picking which of the heads it was hearing, 1 or 3 or 2 or combinations thereof, and it creates different kind of like ping pong effects, like different time delays, like a bit like a multi-tap delay. What I'll do is I'll try some different head times, and you can kind of hear. Intensity is feedback. So we then start to get this like feedbacking effect, and then repeat rate changes the rate at the same time. You get the wonderful like dive bomb thing. You hear I'm like playing into the rhythm. That's just like a wonderful quality of the Space Echo because it has this multiple head thing. You just get these rhythmic taps. And so we have two controls which are not present on the original Space Echo, which are saturation and Wow and Flutter, and actually also this little tape switch. And these are all ways of kind of aging the tape and just getting those kinds of effects that you just kind of expect of tape. Imperfections, which just make things sound wonderful and lovely. So that's none. You hear that? Let's turn up the attack. Saturation is literally that. It saturates the delays. It is possible to have saturation saturate the entire input signal as well, or just the delay. But so in the combination of like Wow Flutter, saturation, and the age tape allows you to kind of get different sort of epochs of Space Echo, a brand new one or a really old funky one, and everything in between. Let's try a little sequence. I've got the Arturia Keystep-37 sequencing my Juno. It's had a MIDI retrofit. Tap tempo. Chorus. Wow. That's the dry signal. It's very like, it's quite dark is the Space Echo, and it really sort of dubs in with everything, beds in. Now, of course, we've only been using the delay. What about the reverb? So the reverb is a spring reverb, and you can kind of hear very characteristic kind of sound. And if I just have this echo off, reverb on, but there are actually multiple different types of reverb in the RE-202. There's a little trick, which is if I stop this and then power it off, you hold tap and you power it back on, comme ça. And then if you put it into mode 12, then these little memory switches let you access 4 different other types of reverb. And there's a variety. They are hall, plate, room, and ambience. They're all quite short relatively. There isn't one that's like, like a 50-second reverb, but they're different. They have different characteristics and are non-springy. So for example, if we try hall, if I hit tap, we'll bing back out of the setup mode, and we're now up and running, and we should hear a different type of reverb. There you go. Saturation. That's, by the way, adjusting the decay on the Juno. It's nice that. And so this is dry. That's the dry signal. Lovely. And it just kind of has that wonderful kind of soupy, swirly kind of gorgeousness to your, Just what you need, isn't it? So that's switching the age right back. No saturation, no wow, new tape. So you get a lot more of those high frequencies back in the recording. And now, there is actually a bass and treble knob, which you maybe see me adjusting. You can use that to just kind of sculpt the brightness and darkness of the delay itself. Really like sharpen it up or take the bass away. Yeah, that is the Boss Space Echo RE-202. A super wonderful thing to bathe your Juno 60 or any other synth. Other synths are available, of course. So check it out. Thanks very much for watching. And of course, there is the RE2 if you're looking for something a bit more compact. There'll be links below to both of these. Ask questions. Please leave your thoughts and comments. And subscribe if you'd like to see more videos messing around with gear. Thanks very much, everyone. See you next time.